What's up, YouTube? How are you doing? New update, fresh update. Yes. Markets are doing fine. Everybody became very bearish on the low. Funding was negative on ChainLink and probably still is. I don't know, didn't check. KuCoin hack, which did not cause the price to move up or down. Which, yeah, it's bad that an exchange got hacked. Still a very important lesson for investors to not leave all your money on exchanges. The long-term investment should be out of the exchange and only in ledgers and stuff, offline wallets. If you want to trade, that's just all on your exchange, obviously. But your long-term investments and not. If you want to invest in crypto, it should be offline. I mean, the nature of a general crypto investor is that they don't have an horizon longer than 3 weeks, if they are lucky. But my horizon with crypto and investments is multiple years, so I would not be having that on any exchange at all. Good part, price is not moving, which is fine. And that's probably the good notation out of it. The bad part, a second one, is that it's not the first time this week that we've had some shit. Crypto.com was earlier this week having similar problems. We know it from other exchanges. We're still in the wild west, so crypto is still very early, very young market. We can also see that with what's happening with the rug pulls on DeFi and how that became a scam city, while there are still some really good projects in DeFi as well. What are we going to discuss today? ChainLink, Ethereum, some Ripple, and some Tezos, as it's Major Saturday, and I wanted to discuss these, mainly also because of the heavy movements we'd seen on ChainLink earlier on. If you like my content, please subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, or check out my website if you want to trade alongside me. What we can see, and I'm going to discuss ChainLink first, is that we've had a very nice hard bounce up. But is it done? Are we finished? Can we continue moving up? Is there a bottoming structure? All questions that I've been seeing a lot on social media earlier. I've also seen people starting to short when everything was relatively red. So people starting to short in this area. Would not be doing that as my strategy. I've tweeted earlier, I buy at support and sell at resistance, which means that that's all relevant to which time frame you're trading. Obviously, if you get a breaker up, like for instance, we get a breaker up and we don't get a retest, then I'll probably won't be into a trade based on the daily, but I would be into a trade based on earlier on already. And just on scalp trades, especially if something starts to move this heavy, I'm just scalp trading it. But the overall structure starts to look exactly the same as what we've seen in 2019 with the previous move up. Just a standard bubble structure that's just going down. So we're just going to deploy what we see on ChainLink and where the levels are. We see a heavy move up, and in a parabolic move up, earlier levels do not receive a test for confirmation of support. And what you want to see is that every previous resistance level gets a support test, so then we can move on. So here you can see one, which is basically also the bottom line of any correction at this point, as this is the last one who got it. And since then, did not receive a test since, did not receive a test since, did not receive a test since. This level lost immediate rejection after we bounced on the previous zone. So that's a bearish bounce up or a rising wedge structure after the overall uptrend got destroyed. Lower high. Peak high, lower high. Lower low also. Then bounce or the drop down. Level tested. Bounce back up. Rejection at the previous level. Another lower high. Now we got into the next level. Bounce up and got past this level. So now we're going to see whether we can break any of these zones here, and currently we are in a resistance zone. So would ChainLink be a confirmation of a entry right now? No, it's not into an entry zone, but it is getting interesting regardless of that. So where are we going to define the support levels right now? That's based on the TA we have here. And there's several scenarios that you could be watching. So for instance, we're still making lower highs, lower lows. So what you want to achieve right now is that there is a new higher low getting constructed, which is around the area we see here, which is around $8. If we want to see a confirmation of any sort of trend reversal, a higher low in this area is what you would be looking for. The second step is, if we lose 825, is to get a bullish divergence around the area of 670 and then a reclaim afterwards. So still a higher low. That's the two you want to achieve. If we get that and we get the higher low, so if in case of a rejection at 1065 we get the higher low, we might be looking at rallies towards $15. So that's what I'm looking at, in which you can see a similar occurrence as what we see previously. So what you see in the previous period is a similar structure that's been broken down, right? Got all the way back towards the level, rejected, tested support some more times and fell south, came towards the previous high, did not even test the level at 116, which is fine. Bottoming structure in which we get a bullish divergence on the lower time frames, retest of the low, breaker of the level we've already tested onwards, support resistance flip, rally further towards the high. So then we skip the level we've got here, as we've already been testing it. So that's what I'm looking at in the current period as well. We're currently getting into these resistance zones, so we might be getting a rally towards 1215. Then I'm going to look at a higher low structure, and if we get some more confirmations like we did here, we might be getting a rally towards the area of $16 before we drop down again. So that's how I deploy a chart on higher time frame. Then Ethereum, also similar structure as on ChainLink, less bullish. New lower low, lower high. Crucial area we've got is facing around 380 to $400. On lower time frames, what you want to achieve is that this previous block around 333 is getting support. And if that happens, we might be getting that further move towards the range high. But I would not be inclined to taking the long around the range high, as that's just a resistance area and a crucial breaker before we're going to test the highs again here. So if I want to take a long entry on Ethereum, if we get in this zone, that's basically after I got stopped out for my short and we flipped this area. So if we get a real bullish structure, I want to see a breaker above 385 and ready towards 440 in one go. If we get a weak bounce above the range resistance towards 4010, 410, 415, somewhere around that, and we fall back into the range high, this rejection would probably cause the price to drop further down the road. And in general, the market is not showing too much of any direction at this point, as everything is just range bound. Ripple is looking like it might be bottoming out as well. We have been defining the levels previously that I wanted to wait at 31 cents before I would take any long on Ripple. And we got into this massive support zone here. So if we want to see a confirmation of any reversal, you want to see that higher low structure getting deployed on Ripple, in which you want to see the area around 22.9 cents or 22.5. Here you want to see a higher low constructed, or at least support test, which identifies a potential bottoming structure. And then we can see some sideways action, and then the breaker up would most likely bring us towards the area around 28 to 30 cents. So would we be looking for longs or shorts in this area? To be honest, I'm looking at longs at this point, as I think we're going to see a relief rally in general. Are we bottoming out already? I don't know. It's very fragile. The markets are very fragile. So it's still quite risky to deploy heavy, massive trades at this point. Tezos all the way down, could not hold any of the support levels, rejected previous support immediately. Currently we are into a new support area, as we can define here, losing this area, and I only believe we're going to low $1. Similar case, I would love to see a higher low here, and then we can start targeting the area around 265. weaker structure than ChainLink, obviously. If we get the higher low structure around $2, which is also around 206, I think we're going to deploy this rally up towards 265. Getting a retest of 235 would even bring us up to low $3. But Tezos is one of the weaker ones at this point. Similar bottoming structure as you can see here is that we don't break the previous resistance zone, drop down. So in that case, we lose this 205 or 210 level and we drop south. And after that, we make another low to confirm the bullish divergence. However, we've got a small one already, so it might be that we're going towards 265 first. Is this an entry zone right now? Not for me. So I hope this video has brought you some nice information on the markets. I'll be back maybe tomorrow, otherwise Monday, with a new episode on the markets. And if you want to see some coins or let me know what you think of this content, reply beneath the video and have a wonderful weekend.